Since I did a Q&A video to celebrate 500 subs, I figured I'd do another to celebrate 1,000 subs. What made you like dinosaurs? Various books, toys, computer games, and movies. How did you come up with your novel idea? Simple. Mix things I like and put my own spin on things. Thoughts on The Unlucky Tug? Haven't seen it. What are some ways you'd suggest to fight negative thoughts and loss of motivation? I find that staying productive leaves little room for negative thoughts. Where I do experience negativity, good self-care helps me cope. Often, negative thoughts arise during disagreements with others. If you can focus on the fact that not everyone shares the same beliefs, it can make it easier to accept those differences. Top 10 favorite TV shows. Still figuring that out, but for now it's this. How would you feel if Jurassic Park got a reboot? I actually plan to make a video explaining that more in depth. Short answer, while I'm not opposed to it, I'm not exactly in favor of it. What is your favorite running gag in any cartoon? My favorite running gag in a cartoon is...
Hi, I'm Pig with today's viewer mail. Here's a letter from Violet, age 5. Dear Pig, are you sure there's time in the show to do this? Good question, Violet. The answer is no. Bye-bye.
Pig interrupting the story in Back at the Barnyard. Plus, it's an awesome meme. Who do you want to see voice Amy Rose in future Sonic movies? Mae Whitman. If you could bring back one kind of extinct animal, which one would you choose and why? The extinct species of black rhinos. The reason is that they died out because of man and deserve another shot. And I don't think we are ready for prehistoric animals being brought back to life. Which film studio do you think makes the best films? I'm going to go with Universal. Besides giving us the Jurassic franchise, Oppenheimer, the Nosferatu remake, and DreamWorks movies, they're not in shambles. Ever thought of watching The Fantastic Adventures of Unico? Never heard of it until now. Who would in a fight? Skitor from Mortal Kombat or Ikio from Terminator Zero? I'm gonna have to go with Skitor because Mortal Kombat can get pretty brutal. How were I introduced to The Legend of Zelda? Super Smash Bros. Melee, but my first Zelda game was Wind Waker and Minish Cap. If you're a fan of the man/property, what are your thoughts on the unmade Resident Evil movie by George Romero? I've seen 2 of George Romero's films, Night of the Living Dead and Day of the Dead. Plan to check out the whole series. I've also only played the remaster of the first Resident Evil game, which was fun. But that sounds interesting. Because the Living Dead movies inspired the Resident Evil games. It would be like if Steven Spielberg directed a Dino Crisis movie. What are your thoughts on the Power Rangers out of curiosity? I saw bits and pieces of Power Rangers Jungle Fury and a bit of Dino Thunder. Plan to watch the series in its entirety sometime. Feel free to leave your recommendations in the comments. Have you seen My Adventures with Superman? Not yet, but it's on my watch list. Favorite Gentry Chow episode? For now, I'll go with episode 5, Sumgyu, My Prince Will Come. It was a breather episode that served as a character study, going over choosing your path in life, as opposed to what those expect you to do. How do you rate every Fast and Furious movies? This answer your question? What country would you like to visit? There are a few, but I'd have to say Sweden. I'm of Scandinavian descent, and Sweden has some great bands. Have you played any Monster Hunter games? No, I haven't. Thoughts on Demon Slayer? It's one of my favorite animes. What are your favorite non-prehistoric animals? Sharks. My favorite species is the Icolette shark. It's so cute. What is your favorite Godzilla design? -1. Do you think you should do a review of terrible dinosaur movies like 65? I'm not sure I'll be reviewing 65. If you watched my channel update, you'd see that I will only be reviewing something that I really want to talk about or feel the need to. Who's your favorite Avatar character? Zuko. The more I reflect on him, the more I relate to him. What's the most unintentionally funny thing you've seen? Probably this line in the Boondock Saints 2.
These sons of bitches prison us in the ass! And then they wipe their our grandma's drapes!
If you could make your own dinosaur movie or TV show, what would it be? I actually have an idea for a story that follows a group of college students who wind up in a dimension where the asteroid didn't hit the Earth, and the dinosaurs didn't die out and evolve further. Do you follow Foster's rule? I don't think so. Have you watched Stranger Things? Not yet. Have you been to Disneyland, Universal Studios, SeaWorld, Knott's Berry Farm, and Six Flags? I've been to SeaWorld and Disneyland when I was little. What do you want to see in Sonic 4? Just keep delivering good quality. Would you say you get too hot or too cold more easily? Yes, there are times when I am wearing a jacket and then take it off only to put it back on. Are you a fan of Jackass? If so, what is your favorite stunt of the franchise? And if not, then why? I've seen bits and pieces of it, but don't plan to check out the series anytime. It just doesn't seem like my thing. Animated protagonist that could destroy or take over the world. Rogan Spawn from the Marvel Animated Universe and the animated Spawn series, respectively. In the comics, Spawn actually banished God and the Devil. As for Rogue, well, she can absorb others' powers and beat anyone. Do you listen to any rappers? I normally listen to rock and metal, but I listen to a few like NWA, Run DMC, Public Enemy, and Ice-T. Which actually, Run DMC and Public Enemy collaborated with Aerosmith and Anthrax respectively, and Ice-T has his own metal band called Body Count. What are your thoughts on the somewhat controversial science cryptozoology? It interests me. It's fun to speculate the idea of creatures not known to science. I'm a fan of the show Lost Tapes, which explores that idea in the form of found footage. Thoughts on SML? Haven't seen it. Do you have a list of shows you'll never watch? I don't have an exact list, but I know it has Velma and Mighty Magiswords. I heard about the opening scene in Velma, and that was enough for me to not want to watch it. As for Mighty Magiswords, the creator was exposed for having some things he shouldn't have had. And there's a character that has a disdain for pants. Moving on. Do you think colorful dinosaurs can be scary? Heck yeah! I prefer the color schemes of the dinosaurs in Michael Crichton's books, and they were terrifying. If you had to delete one JP film from existing, what would it be? Oh boy. I'm gonna have to go with Jurassic World Dominion. I want it to be on the supporting side, but the more I think about it, the worse the film gets, and it's easily the weakest installment. One of the reasons I plan to re-review the JP films leading up to the release of Rebirth is because my thoughts have changed on Dominion. Alright, that's all the questions there is. Thanks for the 1,000 subs. Till next time.